Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is podcast episode 5, recorded on January 2nd. This is the first podcast of the new year. I wanted to begin by saying we've made a few changes to the podcast videos, namely the links in the descriptions. Those links go to the Twitter page. You can follow us at FTC1017. It also has links going to the game animation, game manuals, and a podcast playlist which contains every episode of the podcast thus far. All right, so I've turned the recording on at this point, but it's been a while since we had one of these last. I think it's been 1 month and 1 day, but all the more reason to have one, now to get all caught up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How was your break?
It was really good. I got to see some family. I'm really glad we got to see them. So
That's great. Yeah,
yeah.
I had Christmas at a family member's house. Actually, two of their. We went to my mom's parents' house, and we opened presents there, 6 feet away. That was great because that's kind of a tradition. We always go there on Christmas Eve. Then I believe we also got presents from my dad's parents. But since they live a little further away in Topeka, we just decided to get the presents Christmas Eve and then Christmas morning. Open our gifts, and just do a Zoom call so they could see our reactions and so forth.
We did that today with my dad's parents.
Yeah, I
Gotta love Zoom.
hope everybody had a nice, way to circumvent the tragedies surrounding this year.
Yeah.
How it affects holidays. Have you talked to anybody else, with Blake and Zach and Nathan?
Not really. Nope, I haven't heard
anything
anything from anyone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from anyone else. You know everything I do, so I thought they had gone into work, but I guess they didn't.
I mean, it's no big deal. They gotta, do their own thing.
Yeah, as long as we hit the ground running when we get back, I'm not super worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But stuff's going to be a little different when we go back to school to make sure that we don't behind like we did first semester.
Like we did first semester?
Sorry, don't want to fall behind like we did first semester.
Don't fall behind. Okay. All right, I hear you now. Yeah, did we ever meet up at all? Because I remember there was that one day we talked about, it's like 28th. We never met up, I don't think.
Yeah. As far as I know, we did not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess with that out of the way, what are our kind of priorities right now from your kind of outlook on the whole thing? What does it look like we need to get done first and foremost?
Our robot definitely needs a lot of work. Blake has been working on some redesigns, so he was going to get the IDWs to build within the next couple of days. So I'd say our main goal right now is definitely to get those designs and prototype them and hopefully test them pretty quickly because we'll have a competition coming up in a little over a week. So
a little over a week. So how many more weeks is the competition going to go on for?
So I'm pretty sure there actually is there's a meet next week, but we're not doing it because we have like only half a week for school. So the week after that, I think, is our first meet. And then they're like almost every week we have a meet. So it'll be a lot of just small iterations, I think, as opposed to big redesigns like we've done right now.
Mm-hmm. Iterations. What time are the meets? Do we know?
It's all week long. Yeah, it's like all week long. So we will run our matches and we will record what we score. And then we send our scores in by, I think, Saturday night. Hernandez does that part. He'll send the scores in by like Saturday night, I believe. So, but typically we don't want to have to go in on Saturdays. So we like to have them done by Friday night.
Yeah. It's still crazy. I still feel like, I'm so lost in all this because I don't know where we're at with the robot. Like, well, I mean, I know where we are at, but like, I don't know where we're at in regards to, are we in a good spot for competition? What are we aiming? What dates are we aiming for to have those meets?
That definitely depends on Blake's redesign and how it works. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then So yeah, so design. Once again, I don't think I haven't had Blake on here yet, but it'd be nice if he could talk about these things. But I mean, one of these days. Well, I guess that's kind of that with the whole robot stuff. Has anything else happened since December 1st, which was our last podcast meeting? Because I know we have lots to talk about, but this break has kind of zapped my brain, and I can't remember half these things.
As far as December 1st, anything since then, that would have been, I don't even think we had a robot at that point. I'm trying to think back to what that looked like. I think we started since then. We have a robot now, which is exciting. It was not ready in time for our competition like we hoped it would be, but we've made a lot of progress on it since then. So we have a couple options for launchers and we have a couple options for intakes, but we were struggling with how to move rings from the intake to the launcher. So that was kind of our last minute design attempt. We had a couple different options for that. But I think with Blake's redesign, he's gotten all of that settled and figured out. So we'll actually have a little bit more of a sophisticated move from the intake to the launcher, as opposed to some of the last minute things we threw together back in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the intake was definitely, I would say, our most recent huge step. Because I remember I would come after school and they hooked up the rubber band intake. What were you doing with Maddie when we came after school?
We were working on outreach robots. So we have 2 outreach robots. We call them Tortoise and Hare. And we use those for demonstrations when we go to elementary schools. We let the students drive those robots. And 2, one of them has a gear ratio that makes it have a lot more torque, and one of them has a gear ratio that gives it more speed. So it's kind of a teaching moment for us, and we show them the difference. And even though it's the same motors, they move at different speeds. So that's kind of one of our big outreach things that we do we've done it with elementary students, we've done it with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts troops, all those kinds of things.
That's so cool. It also kind of plays in like the tortoise and hare thing we're talking about. It's like determination, with the motors, the persistence rather than just raw speed.
Right.
So that's amazing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talk about, obviously, in that sense, how one is better for some cases, and sometimes you want speed, sometimes you want torque. So
yes, sometimes it's a sprint, sometimes it's a marathon. But yeah. It's so you've already talked to these like different groups, like the Scouts, I think you mentioned them. Or have you talked to them?
Yeah, we did that some last year.
Oh, last year, okay.
We're hoping, we did some last year, and we're hoping to do some more outreach this year, but it's looking like we're not going to be able to do elementary schools this year, obviously, because we don't want to bring new people into the school, and it would be really difficult to try to do something over Zoom. So we're trying to work it out. Maddie's doing a lot of that right now, but it's not looking good in that sense. So.
Well, yeah, we're doing the best we can, but it's not ideal, obviously. But
right, exactly.
What did you do last year in robotics? What did you work on? Because I was on design, so I did not do media, but I'm media this year, obviously.
Right. I was project manager last year as well, first and second semester. But second semester, our team was much less organized because we only had 6 people as opposed to 8. So I also filled in a lot for build, and I handled most of the outreach last year.
Oh, wow. So.
Yeah, Maddie helped that one, but yeah.
Oh, Maddie worked with you again last year again?
Yeah, we were both project managers second semester.
Huh. Yeah. What should we get Maddie on? Because I'd like to hear more about this outreach stuff, but it's all really cool. So what is do we know Nathan and Joseph are up to right now? What's going on with programming?
So as far as I know, programming is working right now on odometry. Nathan took the odometry robot home. Build made a special robot for them to work on. And he said he's gotten it working, and that it's fairly accurate, but that he's working on making it more accurate so that we can be totally sure. He said excessive turning is going to be an issue and it's going to throw off the odometry. So I think he's working on making that a little more precise so we don't have to worry too much about it.
So how about just your job? Because obviously I feel like you know your job better than anybody. So what are you kind of working on right now, or what are your goals?
Yeah, so I talked to Hernandez at the end of last semester, and I've decided to take on a couple new things. One of them we've been talking about all semester, but I hadn't actually done it yet. So I'm actually going to start a website for FTC. We've
Oh,
had a few in the past, but one of them connected to FRC, and it was just really weird. So we decided that just starting fresh would be the best option. So that's what I'm working on over break is I'm starting a website. It's not even close to ready yet. But by doing that, that's where we'll put the engineering notebook. So we technically only need a portfolio this year because of the online stuff. But I personally just enjoy making an engineering notebook, and I love like watching the documentation and everything. And I think it's a really important tool for judges to see how our team works and what the design process has been for a robot. So I'm going to make an online engineering notebook and I'm going to attach it to the website. And then hopefully other people can see that and use it as a template or get some ideas from it or just see how our robot's doing. So hopefully that could be a resource for other people as well as for us.
yeah, website's really awesome. And you said you're making it over the break?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I had to do some research to decide what I wanted to do it through because there's lots of different sites that would help you make websites or whatever. So I think I've settled. Hernandez suggested Google Sites, and I think I'm going to go with that one.
Google Sites, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing, but Hernandez suggested it and said it's really easy to work with. So that's probably what I'll end up going with.
When we go back to hybrid, is it going to be like an even day or an odd day first? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Huh. And it'll still be like the A through L and the M through Z's, huh?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right. What do you think of the last podcast? Because that was obviously a little strange because we had somebody else who wasn't on, and they got a chance to kind of discuss or bring up questions they had.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. I'm being honest. That was, like I said, a month and a day ago. Yeah. So anything you wanted to throw out to me or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think we've about covered it.
All right. Great. Yeah, hopefully I can have somebody else on one of these days. I know I say that every one of these podcasts, but I guess I'll just kind of stop, complaining about it once it happens. But until then, I'm just planning. But
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. So hopefully when we come back in person, or when we're back in hybrid, or what have you, do you know if he's still going to let us come after school when we go back, or do we know that?
I think that's up to the district. I'm not sure what their policies are going to be on that.
Well, the more time we have hands-on, working as a team, or we have like different combinations of people going in rather than just AM and PM. More work is better. That's just kind of it. So I look forward to coming back in person and working on the bot again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming out. Like I said, if you don't have anything more to say, I guess we can just wrap it up. You've been a great guest as always.
Yeah.
So say goodbye to all the people. I always suffer with these outros.
Goodbye, everyone who's watching the podcast. Watching? I don't know. Listening to, I guess.
I still think we're going to go with YouTube. So I guess they could technically watch it or listen to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Trevor. I'll see you Wednesday or maybe Thursday, depending on block schedule.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.